that you would leave feeling full of possibilities and excitement. And just try and point out some of the parallels with what we've been talking about already this afternoon, and the challenges that face just about anybody, I think, who's running a business in South Africa. And as the previous speaker already pointed out, schools are effectively businesses in children. So it's quite interesting. This gentleman grew up from nothing to owning these 2 beautiful department stores in London. And so what happened was his children grew up in a completely different environment to the one that he'd grown up in. He'd grown up having nothing, having to struggle for absolutely everything. These 2 boys had everything. So he pushed it a little bit further and he said, "Dad, I think we need to change things. How about we try something and we totally change the focus of the business, that rather than focusing on the customers," and remember, your children are your customers. In hospitals, the patients would be the customers. Why don't we focus on the employees? So we're not going to neglect customer service, but what we're doing is putting money on a bet that if you turned the focus from the customers to the employees, and you made your employees the center of everything you did as a business, could you be successful? And to this day, the John Lewis Partnership is held up as one of those magical places you go to when you want to leave feeling wonderful about the fact that you spent a small fortune. Because they don't sell cheap things. They sell very nice things. So it's a little bit like Woolies, but the entire business belongs in trust to the employees. So what he looked for was things that he could develop within each of the team members in terms of the employees. And he hinged on 3 things. Satisfaction. This is now the teachers. Kids, yes, are the product of the school, but your ambassadors are your teachers. Your front-facing people are actually your teachers. So in the equivalent of this social experiment, this isn't about putting the children at the center of everything you do as a school. It's about putting the teachers at the center of everything you do as a school. Can you be successful? That's if we take the equivalent. Okay? Satisfaction. Do your teachers know what gives them satisfaction? Worthwhile. It's no good just doing things. You have to do things that mean something. Does that make sense? So everything the teachers do have to have a purpose. Has to have a purpose, which means that when you reflect back on it, you're gaining a sense of satisfaction because you did something that was useful. And then the final thing is because of your satisfaction and your worthwhileness, are you contributing to a successful business, school, hospital? And guess what? 2 schools and 2 primary healthcare clinics in the UK are trying this. What they're wondering is, if they made the teachers the owners of the school, if they made the nurses and doctors the owners of the clinic, would it change the way they delivered education to the students and care to the patients? And the initial reports are that it makes a very big difference. Even if you never get your hands on a shareholding certificate, because remember, the value of the school and the clinic goes into trust, just so that no one wanders off with it. But what it does is it really, really, really changes the purpose and the passion levels, and it really fits in beautifully with what you were saying later. I mean, I have got a beautiful book here from one of the Harvard lecturers. It's called How to Lead Like an Owner. So what it says is, whether you're at home at your family, at church, out in the community, working in schools, working in hospitals, working in any business whatsoever, that you can take the principles of thinking like an owner and apply them to actually lead in a different way to the way we would lead if we assumed somebody else was running the business all along. And as principals, you're in that fortunate position of being the business leader, effectively. And I just want to echo everything there are days I am exhausted. Honestly, in terms of running the business, I can imagine you get tired as well. So where do we find this inner spark and passion that actually keeps us going? And the notion, perhaps, of believing that you own the school and you own the outcomes of it could be the thing that adds that little bit of extra energy and oomph to everything that you do each day. And if that can be transmitted to the teachers in the school, imagine how powerful it could possibly be. Thank you.